Namaskar, doston. It's good to see all of you all again. I've taken a break for a little while. I know, uh, so I've been enjoying life. That's what I've been doing basically, and my video also is part of that. I want to explain why I deferred registering for CFA Level II. Um, what the dates was exactly, I don't remember, but there was a deadline. For the August exam, there was a deadline of, I think it was February 9th. It could be a few days off. But that was the time around which I had taken my vacation. So yeah, it must have been around 9 since my vacation, I think, was 3rd to 7th. So yeah, I remember the vacation, which even though I had taken the vacation, I was still a little unsure whether or not to apply. And I thought mostly I would apply for the August exam and put myself under pressure and stress, put my family and my mother and others in this pressure and stress and strain. Again work hard on weekends and again push myself. And I'll have to put all things all other things that people want to do that I want to do in life. I'll have to put it all aside for another 2, 3, 4. How many more years? How many? Okay, after CFA, there'll even be other designations you want, right? How many years? You have to balance everything, right? That's why people say you need a work or life balance. One of my uncles, to my very much respect, he always says, enjoy life, very important. It's not just studies. Of course, studies will help you do well in life. It'll help you enjoy life at a higher level later on, and that's already come by God's grace because of my studies, of course, which has also played a part, and my work. Studies are very good, but we must enjoy life at the same time. So we must have the right balance, work-life balance, as we call it. No, so that's why I'm doing this video. I hope it proves instructive and useful to you, because you also should not rush into any applying to exam. Don't make any decision when you're angry, and don't make any decision when you're in a hurry. One of my aunts taught me this great lesson: don't make me any decision when you're angry. Which I very much agree with. Don't ever decide anything when you're angry. So when you're angry or emotional, your senses affected. You're not thinking of that time. Also, don't make any decision in a hurry. I mean, recently I got into some trouble with the internet connection, extending the internet connection just because I did it in a hurry. Oh, the deadline came. It's a 5-day grace period. Today only I realized that by mistake I signed up as a new customer somehow in ACT, and then it took some problem to resolve. Finally, I got it resolved. So I had to change the account number, and many things, which I could have easily avoided if I had just been a little patient. Don't make any decision in a hurry. So God is showing me through that life lesson. Don't make any decision in a hurry. Right? We must accept and acknowledge our mistakes, humble ourselves, and that's the way we are able to correct our mistakes in future. Imagine if I had registered and now I'd have been in so much pressure, I'd not have been able to enjoy life. I'd not have been enjoyed. Hi George, great to see you here. Hi Jitin. So yeah, one of my good friends is signed up. So I want to tell you all, dear friends, don't be in a hurry in life. Don't be in a hurry. Everything is going to come to you if you are just aspiring for CFA FRM. That's a great thing. You will come up in life. You will do well. These are highly esteemed American exams. So we Indians are now being equal to them, being equal to Americans and to Open and international students. We are writing. We are coming up. We're just discovering the value and the potential. And foreign companies will value it so much. The companies we already work for will value it so much. The other Indian companies we are looking for will value it so much. It has a lot of potential, a very valued designation, but don't be in a hurry. Especially if you're young, if you're around 30 years of age, you have 34, 30 and 35 years at least of working life to go. Even if you want to retire at 60 or 65, you have a long life. So you don't need to worry. Don't need to be in a hurry. Slowly you can do. You can plan your life. You can take next year. Even I could even apply next year, but I don't want to defer it that long. And I am sure. That's why what I did is I deferred my August exam. Deferred in the sense I didn't even register. I let the deadline pass calmly and peacefully, as I've explained in the introduction, and I was 100% sure I made the right decision. My mother also told me, and I felt God also telling me, and I know this was the right decision. And if I had not done it, I would have been under so much stress right now, just like I was in those. Though I didn't tell everyone, that period from this September 30th when I registered for FRM II to December 8th, and somehow I wrote, and by God's grace I cleared. I was under so much stress, so much stress. When you're under stress, even though you don't mean to, you unconsciously get angry, and it affects everything. It could affect your health long term if you keep on doing that, or not once okay, but if you do it for every time, every exam, it can affect your health. So I wanted to give myself 250 days. 250 days, 500 hours, 2 hours a day. I don't want to spend 10, 12 hours on weekends. I want to have a life. I do have a life by God's grace, and I want to enjoy my life also. So I don't want to spend only on studies, but I want to study. I'll keep 1 to 2 hours maybe on weekdays, 2 to 4 hours on weekends. That's good. Get up at 8 comfortably, have a good breakfast, study for 4 hours up to 12, and then do whatever I want for the rest of the day. That's good, right? Or do whatever I want in the morning, come back 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., study, and then go to sleep. And that's how, dear friends, we all should plan our lives. Why I'm sharing this with you is don't be in a hurry. If you want to write these exams, very good. Give yourselves, if you want to write all 5 exams, give yourselves at least 5 years. And aim to, if you're starting right now, aim for the November FRM, aim for the November exam, not the May exam, not the exam which is so near, which will put you under a lot of stress, especially if you're already working. If you're in between jobs and if you know you're going to be going to be at home for about three months, then fine, you could think of studying during that time, which is okay. But give yourself time. You need a work-life balance. So important. Companies, interviewers have always said this. Only I really understand the importance of that work-life balance. We need that balance in life. Go spend time with your family, with your friends. Enjoy life. Go out, eat nicely, party sometimes. Have a good party. I am against alcohol. Everyone knows that. But I am for good enjoyment with friends, relatives, people you love. Yeah, I'm doing great, Chetan, bro. Thank you. So I'm for enjoying life in a good way, decent way, a happy way, and balancing it well with your responsibilities. Treat your parents to good things in life. Treat your relatives. Treat your friends. Everyone will like you. You'll make a lot of friends that way. People will respect you, and you'll spread love. You'll spread cheer. You'll spread joy to everyone. Then, when you are earning well, that's happiness not only for you but for all others, especially for your well wishers, especially for those who stood by you when you were not doing so well, when you were not, when you were poor or when you were still struggling to come up in life. Those who have helped you, those who have mentored you, those who have trained you, take them out for a treat, reward them. You can do all these things. You can enjoy your life at the same time. Give money to the poor. Give money to those who are desperate. You can help them. Do many things in life. It's not just about studying, not just about reading books. You learn so many things in life that are not in books. You cannot find them in books alone. Okay, so I want to tell you, if you plan your campaign, like generals, I don't know how many of you played Red Alert 2 and Warcraft 3. I remember these games. They are computer games. I'm sure some of you would have loved them. They're entertainment. I did love them. And they can teach you about life also. Just like when you're playing the Allies and you're against the Soviets in the heart of the Cold War, you have to plan ahead, you have to strategize, you have to think long term. How am I going to attack my army or my navy or my air force? And you're going to have to plan what barriers are there, where are the defense towers, everything you have to think and you have to go ahead. Similarly, when you're planning, you have to think, I need 500 hours to clear this exam. Keep 500 hours. As I say, many people say 300 hours, 200 hours. They try to bring it down. Some people say, I put only 100 hours, I put only 90 hours, and that's fine. If you put, I also put very few hours. Not that I put very few hours. I had only 2 months. Many people say 6 months, 8 months. I had only 2 months. But I don't advise you to keep only 2 months. That was a kind of emergency situation for me, so I did like that. I don't advise you to do like that because then your chances of success are low. And someone, okay, I was going to say, I already have some finance background, especially if you're just coming into finance or if you are just coming up now in finance. If you try like that, then there's a chance that you may fail. And that if you fail, then you spend some money. You may think, I don't want to spend another 1 lakh, almost $1,000, and then you may give up on the certification. So don't keep 1 year, keep one full year. Actually, I could think now that I'm thinking, if I had not been applying for FRM II, actually, I was waiting till my result came. That's why after that only I thought of CFA II. It's good to keep even more than 1 year if you want, especially if you're not from finance. And if you're very sure in 8 months you'll clear well, this is February, right? Second month. November is the 11th month. So 9 months I have. And months more than 250 days. That's what I wanted. So 2 hours will be enough. 2 hours in the morning. I know even on a weekday I can put in 2 hours. I'll have to get up a little early, which I'll manage. I managed before. Must have that slight discipline. Yeah, some days when I know I don't have any obligations, I sleep late if I want to. But when I know I have obligations and I know I have work, then I have that the discipline by God's grace to get up early, do my work, and finish it. And it's what you need, dear friends. If you want to be earning over 1 lakh and close to 2 lakh by the time you come to 30, 35, this is the discipline you need. And then it'll only go higher. It'll only go higher. Every year you'll get increments, right? Some people believe in job change to get a higher increments. I frankly don't believe that. But okay, if you get higher increments, fine. It's up to you. But work well in your current company. Long term, I'm betting, I'm an investor, right? And I'm betting if you get these certifications, these qualifications, and you work well, okay, 1 year you may get, say, 10% increment here, 20% increment there, fine. But if you keep on working in the same company, but don't be like, that's like, the parable of that golden eggs thing. You're so attracted by that you lose out on this good position, this good company that you have, Just to attract you, they will put that. Next year, they will give you a slower increment. But when you work well, when you consistently work well, when you show people that you're working well, and when the people see that you're not only writing these exams, like all my teammates saw it and they were all happy about it, but also that shows up in your work, right? That's what people really want. Okay, people tell me, oh, you're an IM guy, FRM, fine. But I also say that sometimes, when especially if people are looking down on me, I say that. Otherwise, I don't say it much, frankly. So I don't need to. But it should show up in my work. That's what my company wants, after all, right? What I did 10 years ago, and all company, and or even recently, I mean, what benefit is it to the company is what the company will ask. Reasonable. Okay, to be nice, they will say, okay, that's very good, and yeah, it is good. But that should show up in my work, and that's what I'm telling you also, dear friends. It should show up in your work. It will, right? Once you put in the effort, once you gain the certification, you'll be amazed at the person you become. That's another, happiness of being part of the process. You have learned so much. You'll know so much more than your peers. You'll reflect and you'll think so well on the world. You'll be able to advise investors in the top banks what securities to invest in, how we can improve their financial system, how we can prevent the next economic crisis, and the next recession, how we can help develop India. That's what I'm so interested in. That's why finance and economics is a field with so much promise and so much promise. Whatever we do, we should do it ethically and with love and with a generous heart, right? There's a doctor, such a noble profession, and she does it with so much love. And that is, and we know Mother Teresa did with so much love as a missionary of charity. And that's what really matters, dear friends. That's what really matters. How we help, what a difference we make in other people's lives. That's what will last forever. That's what will last beyond the grave and will be rewarded in heaven. And that's what really matters in the end. So that's what I want people to do, and I also want to do it. So that's why I'm telling you this. Okay, I think this will be maybe not a very long video, maybe just a few points I'll cover, and then I will close. It's 11 o'clock. I also want to sleep. It's Monday evening, right? Monday evening, yes. And so I just want to tell you, dear friends, plan your life well, and everyone should, not really those in finance, those in CA, those who are writing. Many of my friends are writing CA, and they've asked for advice, guidance. Sometimes I know people fail, and I know it's a difficult exam, dear friends. And all I can tell you is keep going, keep going. There are people who have failed, who by God's grace have come up in life, right? People who have done that, and many, even CSC, many times people have failed 3, 4, 5 times. Then they have cleared. It's a difficult exam to clear. I know I haven't seen the exact portion, but I know this through the syllabus, through the number of books you have to study. And they've come up and they work for big four companies, they work for top companies, they earn very well. Some of them break into investment banking. So don't give up. Don't give up. Just have a plan and don't give up. Always tell yourself, even when you find yourself rock bottom, you think you're at the back of the class, you're the back of the lowest of the lowest, yourself in 5 years, I'll rise so high that all will be amazed at me. Give yourself 5 years, give yourself 10 years. It takes time. It won't necessarily happen overnight, but it can happen. It will happen. Never lose faith in God and confidence in yourself. God's grace, you can do everything. Rise up, rise up. Yes, that's that song from Switchfoot. I dare you to move like nothing ever happened, like today never happened. That's the attitude we should have to life. When a difficult time comes, we can, with the help of others, confide in trusted friends who will help you, who really genuinely care for you and love you, and want you to rise up in life, right? With their help and with your own effort. Is that poem also? I'll trust, but in heaven and my good right hand. Don't need anyone else. Trust in God and trust in your right hand. That means the power to work hard. So God has given to each one of us. We have that power. With that power, we can come up in life. Really come up. We can earn well. If we're earning 10,000 today, even if we are in debt, we can earn 1 lakh one day. We can have no debt, no arrears, nothing, no backlogs. We can have the dream job, the dream car, the dream home that we want. We can retire wealthy, and we should be generous also. Remember that. If you're not generous, we don't deserve to be wealthy. We should not just accumulate money just for ourselves. That's wrong. Right? There's the parable in the Bible of the rich man and Lazarus. This man had everything. Lazarus had nothing. Rich man had just, out of love, repented and said, and love for God and neighbor, which God has asked for. He had just given something, small morsel from just one day. He had gone and given a good meal to that, which he had so many good meals. Good meal to that poor beggar. That rich man could have gone to heaven, but instead he went to hell, while that poor man went to heaven. So judgment will be easy for those who have been harshly treated here on earth, very severe for those who have been wicked. So God doesn't want us to be greedy rich persons. That's another thing we investment bankers really need to hear. This is the gospel investment bankers really, really, really need to hear. Right? Right? We don't want to be people sometimes oppose missionaries, even though missionaries do so much good for society. Missionaries uplift society. I heard the other day some people, I think it was an old video, but yeah, I just happened to skim across it, and what's his name? That Times Now person. They were all debating. He was in favor of Mother Teresa. Some of few others, some RSS had said against her, and something though she was doing so much good for the society, she has done. But people again, see, friends, if we are not missionaries, we will be mercenaries. Missionaries just mean you're zealous for something that you believe in and that you want to uplift people. You don't should not be mercenaries. Mercenaries means those who only love money and who want to exploit people. That is what is wrong and that is what is bad. We should want to uplift people. We should want them to come up. That's what people who really love others want. Should not be so selfish as to think money is the only important thing in life. These investment banks have trillions of dollars. The AUM of the top 10 investment banks, which I saw it last year, exceeds some $30 trillion, something like that. It's huge, huge, huge amounts, more than the GDP of America and India combined. And we could do so much with that money, and of course invest a large part of it and make it more. That's of course what managers are supposed to do, but that's not the only thing. And it's not just to retire. And what you'll do with that, what you'll do having trillions and billions of dollars in the bank, and then what about your soul, what about your life, what about your happiness, what about your peace? How much more peace there'll come if you shared that money with others? It's what God wants. Enjoy your life. Buy nice things for yourself. Same things you want for yourself, good food, good clothes. God wants you to give also to that poor man who doesn't have that good food and that good clothes. And when we went to Nagarkoil also, there are people who, if you give them just 10 rupees, let alone 50 rupees, and for something that they are giving you, not even free, like for a watermelon slice or something good that that you have in the hot sun, they almost literally worship you and they honor you and they bow before you. They're so humble, they're so hardworking. That's why I have great hopes for India. I have hopes that India will come higher than America and Britain also, not only equal. People may think me crazy for saying that, but I am bold and I do believe that we can, because we have that hardworking ethic. And there was some trying to cheat me also here. Thankfully, my uncle and others, very wise, they prevented me. I seen uh, I saw sunglasses. I wanted sunglasses as sometimes my eyes are a little sensitive to the extreme brightness of the sun, and I wanted sunglasses. And someone told me just 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees, and my uncle immediately said, "No, that's not a good price. No." He knew the worth of it was 100 rupees. There are times when we have to negotiate. The times we have to bargain. But then immediately that person came down to 500 because he knew 1,000 was a ridiculous price. But uncle sent him away. This person is trying to cheat us. The other person, then someone else came, and how much? Uncle asked, "How much is it?" And he said 100 rupees. A very fair price. This is the exact price uncle said. It's worth 100 rupees. Very fair price. We didn't bargain one thing. We knew it is fair. We gave to him. Cost of it maybe 50. Let him make 50 rupees. This is profit. That's fine. That's good. Let him make. That is his money. He also needs to eat, right? It's like we also need to eat. But we should not get cheated. We should not get cheated. And so the Western model is like, make as much money as you can, cheat as much people as you can, give least work, but ask the most amount. In the sense, not that all Westerners are there, but that worldly people are like that, thinking money is the only important thing. So even if it costs you 100, you can charge $1,000 or $10,000. That's fine and coolly. You can laugh all the way to the bank, as the song say. And those banksters like that are better call bankers like that are better called banksters, gangsters, bankers and come gangsters. That's who they are, and never ever be like that. I want to change that. I'm bold to say that we should not be like that. We should be good bankers, but ethical, honest, sincere, hardworking bankers. Right? Money we give to others because we invested in productive assets that benefit so many people, that can create employment, that can generate revenue for the companies we give them to. They can expand their operations. They can hire people. It's very, very good what we're doing, and we should do it. We should do it with a generous heart. The generous heart makes all the difference. Adam Smith, a great economist who wrote The Wealth of Economists, he was all Wealth of Nations. He's considered like the founder of capitalism, the father and founder. And he's a great economist, and of course he is. But he was also a minister and a very moral man. And he was also all for sharing, all for doing with a generous heart, generous hand, and that is very important. We need compassionate capitalism and wealth creation we speak of, and that is good. We need compassionate wealth creation, which is also has a certain legitimate role for wealth redistribution. That will be the focus of a video. I will explain tomorrow why I really support a great scheme which I believe can transform India, which can transform crores of lives. So stay tuned for that video tomorrow, and it will be on a very important subject, perhaps the most important video I made so far. And unfortunately, many people don't know it. Crores of people, I believe, if we knew about it, we could change India with this scheme. Great scheme that has been proposed. Great scheme that can change the lives of so many crores of Indians. We should support this. We should be actively involved in trying to change society from the bottom up. Should be everyone should have enough money, and we've come to that stage after 75 years of independence. Our economy is also good, some 250 some $3 trillion, which is about 250 lakh crore, right? 2.5 crore. You can say 2.5 crore square. 2.5 to the power 14 rupees INR. I'm saying in INR because otherwise it's not meaningful. Now, of course, that 2.5 crore is shared among 140 crore people. So our GDP is just about our GDP per capita is just about 2.5 by 140, which is not a very large amount. 2.5 by 140 in terms of crores, so 250 by 140 in terms of lakhs, so about 1 point, can roughly round it up as 2. As 2 lakh means everyone's average net wealth, not income, not yes, not annual income or anything, because the GDP growth will come under annual income. And a rough analogy, but GDP as a total is around 2 lakh. Of course, now there'll be some who are very rich, who have thousands of crores, and some who are very nothing, who are very little or nothing. But now we should try to bring that 2 lakh per capita to at least 10 lakh per capita, about 5 times more in the next 5-10 years by 2030. So $10 trillion, 10 lakh crore, 10 lakh crore, 10 lakh per capita is a good target to aim for by 2030, which means we have to grow about 5 times. Right? We all speak about the growth of investments, the growth of this particular company, the growth of India Inc. should be so important to us. And that's what really matters. All as investors should be putting our heads together and cracking our brains and staying up nights and praying and fasting and thinking and working and seeing how we can solve this great real life problem, which 25 crore of our people, our Indian people, live in the utmost poverty. One of the last nations on earth. We have some of the richest people also. The gap between poor and rich is growing wider and wider. Nobody seems to want to solve it. We have to take initiative. We IIM guys, we CAT guys, we FRM guys, we CFA guys and girls. It's time for us, मेरी बाबाओं, मेरी बहनों, my brothers and sisters, to put heads and hearts and minds and wills together. As brothers and sisters, we have to uplift our poor brothers and sisters, long suffering brothers and sisters. How long will we leave them there? Do our hearts feel good? Do we not feel compassionate? And compassion is very good and should be there. And just give them the money we have in our pocket, and 10 rupees, and 20 rupees, 100 rupees when we can. And let us also think of long term. We've come to that level now. India has come to that level. We are equal with Americans and Britishers, and we can, Europeans, and we can now have to think of long term structural solutions to alleviate poverty in the long term. By 2030, we must eradicate poverty. UN has goals, the UNICEF has goals, and all long international organizations have the goals, and they're trying to do it. We should give them ideas, solutions. This 10% rule that I suggest, please, everyone begin to practice it. Make a New Year resolution in 2022. It's a promise in the Bible. God will bless you if you do it. God will pour abundance on your life. And even apart from that, you should have a charitable and compassionate heart. Humanitarians, even if you're atheists, be humanitarians. Be humanists and care for one another. God will value that. Everyone will value that. Your neighbor will value that. Society will value that. People will respect you for that. And this opposition between rich and poor will stop because people will see the rich are helping them the most. Yes, that's the benefit of being rich. You can help others. Be wealthy, but be generous, wealthy persons. Be rich, but be compassionate, rich persons. Work hard. Yes, become rich. Bible says the hand of the diligent makes rich, but the hand of the diligent makes rich, which means it's good to be rich if you work hard for it. But once you are rich, be compassionate. Give at least 10%. Would say as your salary goes higher and higher as it will. No need to put everything in savings. Put a little in savings, but give others to charity. People dying on the streets today for one cup of tea would give anything. For one biscuit or one piece of bread would give anything. And if we do not love them, if we do not have love for them, then it's a waste. Our life is a waste, and we are waste. Honestly, we are waste. We are useless waste. if we don't have that love for them in their heart. They are our suffering brothers and sisters. We have to uplift them. This is what I really want, and this is why I want to train people to become great financial managers. Earn well for yourselves and be compassionate toward others, even to give all our money away and to die. And Jesus Christ, he could have been one of the richest men who ever lived. Thousands of people followed him. Could have said, "Give me 10,000 denarii each, and you can go away." And he would have been so rich. He did not. He died with one cloth around his back, and, and buried in a borrowed grave of a friend. So much he loved, because he wanted to be poor for our sake, and it's written for, so that we might become rich. He became poor, though he was rich. Which prince has ever loved like this? He was son of God and king, the line of David, a prince of peace, and he became poor for our sake. He loved heroism and to unbelievable generosity and compassion, and he taught us to love like that. Everyone should try to practice his principles and his teachings, because that will change society, radically revolutionize society. We have communists, Marxists, and they're considered leftists, but they want to do something for the poor. Doing something for the poor is good. Really practicing the teachings of Jesus Christ can really change society like nothing else can. And so I do believe we really need to change bankers. We need to become compassionate and generous people, and we need to improve our image also, frankly, to be very frank with other bankers, because bankers have a bad reputation, and not a completely undeserved one, because bankers like being banksters, like being gangsters, right? More gangster than banker, because we think robbing other people makes us rich, but that's not the right way to become rich. That money will always be cursed money and will never bring you happiness, either in this life or the next. One day you'll have to answer to God for having stolen it. It's never about trying to steal others. Life is not a zero sum game, an important management concept we learn. Life is a non-zero sum game where everyone can benefit. If I win, you don't have to lose. If I become rich, you don't have to become poor because of that. I don't have to cheat you or cheat anyone to make money. Yes, that is true. 21st century thinking, IIM thinking, that can change India, that can change the world. Rather, you become rich by making others rich or even richer. Them become even richer than you. What does it matter to you? You do your work. You have enough to eat, and you be content with that. You have clothes to put on. You be content with that. It's a beautiful verse in the Bible where St. Paul says, "We have food and clothing, and with these we shall be content." If only everyone practiced such wisdom, the world would be such a beautiful place to live in. The world would be virtually a paradise. And God could just come down and lift us all to heaven. We have food and clothing, and with this we shall be content. We don't need anything more if you have food and clothing. That's what the Bible tells. It says, and a place to lay down your head, which God has given each one of us. Right? You don't need more than that. You don't need more than that. Be compassionate persons, be content persons, be selfless persons, not selfish persons, sacrificial persons, be generous persons, exercise compassion to all. Country desperately needs healing. Still have casteist attitudes in our country, racist attitudes. Yes, we don't like when Americans look down on us, but we look down on black people, and we look down on other people and so-called lower castes. Racism is wrong no matter who does it, whether Americans do it to Indians or Indians do it to other Indians, to North Indians or to this Indians or to Indians from the so-called lower caste or of a different hue of skin. What are the things we are doing in our country, and of communalistic politics? Christians, Hindus, Muslims should all work together for the common good, for the upliftment of society. Should have common prayers to Almighty God to bless India, to make her great. Once she was the greatest nation in the earth. Do you know that? 22% of GDP, the largest of any single country, no, of any single country, was from India. India, not so long ago, I believe it's 2022 now. We will come back to that share one day. It seems incredible now. We are just 3% or 4%, not even 4%, 3% of the world's GDP. It's around $100 trillion. We are around $3 trillion. To speak of international terms, we need to go back to that dollar standard. But otherwise, in Indian terms, be aware, dear friends, our per capita GDP, that is the total wealth per capita, is around 2 lakh, which means 2 lakh. It means many people are living on 2,000 and 20,000, 2,000, barely have enough. And so many crores of Indians, I read that statistics some time ago, many crores live on less than 1,000 rupees a month. I think it's 25 crore, yes? 1,000 rupees is not enough to do anything, not enough to buy anything, not enough to have anything. No wonder they are so sad. No wonder they are so downcast. It's up to us to uplift them, to liberate them from their poverty. What a beautiful life we would have. What a beautiful adventure to embark on. how consoling, how rewarding, how satisfying even for us, not only for them. When we do something so wonderful to lift them up, how many people we can give smiles to, can give joy to, can give happiness to. How many people will sleep soundly because of us, will eat well because of us, be clothed in good things because of us. This is the thing which religions really preach, but this is what we need to promote, practice, and to promote. This is what which will change society inside out, from the inside out. This is what we need more than anything else. It will not profit. Even if we come to $30 trillion, we beat America, but we are still selfish and poor. We're still selfish and have no compassion for the poor. Only the top 10 may benefit, and it'll be a rat race. I have to get to the top 10 because 10%, because otherwise, I'll be left behind. I'll be poor, and enough. People have 50, 60 lakh LPA salary. I see people boasting on Quora, and they say it's not enough, not enough. Other people are starving for 10,000, 20,000. Be content with your pay. Be content. Don't ask for more. Give more. Don't ask for more in the sense. Give more to your company and be content with what they pay you, and slowly come up. Slowly come up in life. Give more to others also. Complaining about hundreds of lakhs and lakhs and 50 LP and 60 LP, and they're saying no, that's not enough. People are dying for 50 rupees in this country. No, we need to change. We need to change. We need to really, really have compassion for our neighbors and our brothers once again. We're content to wall ourselves within the four walls of our homes. We don't care who suffers, who struggles, who perishes, who weeps. The crows of poor Lazarus is in this country. And we are those greedy rich men, and according to the gospel and the Bible, we're destined for hell if we live like that. If we live with no compassion in our hearts. God is just. People ask why there is a hell, but it is because He is just and He doesn't want us to go there. He wants us to repent and change our lives and give glory to Him and give what is due to our neighbor to them. The church fathers teach, when once beautiful men, St. Augustine, St. Chrysostom, and others really learned and lived the gospel, and they teach and they build so many charities, orphanages. Before them in pagan Rome, it was the custom to kill children. Can you even believe? Today we have abortion, and abortion is the killing of children again. In infanticide, tragically, we had female infanticide even here in India. It's part of history. The British put an end to it, and so it's very tragic that there has been killing of children. There was killing of children, and they replaced this after they built churches and universities and cathedrals and hospitals and charities. They replaced this with orphanages, yes, and they adopted them and said, no, don't. This is what Mother Teresa told, Saint Mother Teresa told the Western people who could not believe it, the Americans. Give your children to me, don't kill them, don't abort them. I will take care of them. That is greatness, that is heroism. That's the compassion that changes the world. It says every child is a gift from God and is welcome. If perhaps you don't have the financial resources or the heart to raise that child, people willing and are happy. So many couples are looking to adopt children. And why is there abortion? Give those children to those who are looking to adopt. To the adoption agencies such as those Saint Mother Teresa ran. We need to change, dear friends. This is the education that can transform the world more than any reading of books and solving mathematical problems alone. This is what I want people to really practice. We need to think, dear friends, how we are going to solve these real life problems. There can be many proposed solutions. I'm going to discuss in my next video tomorrow. A great scheme proposed by many leading economists that can really change the face of India. I really, really believe it can and does, and it's an idea whose time has come. It's discussed in consultation with Dr. Raghuram Rajan, one of the great minds of our country, IIMA and MIT alumnus, correct? One of the great, great minds. A very foolish man said, let us chase him away to America. Let us send him away. The sooner he goes, the better for our country. Fool said like that. What foolish thoughts. That kind of thoughts will keep our country backward and negative and regressive forever. We should never ever think like that. We should think, how do we attract those great minds? Went away from our country, okay, they sought a monetary return. They had investors. We know that people go where they get high returns, high salaries, fine. Now we should be thinking how we attract them back to our country. Fine, they've gained that education, their experience abroad. Fine, now come and apply that education here in India. Use it for the upliftment of our people. Get the best education. Education is good. Get the best experience. Experience is good. Then use it for the upliftment of India. Use it for the upliftment of society. Use it for those 25 crore poor suffering brothers and sisters who need you, who need your help, who need who need your love, who need your money. Money has eternal. Saints like to say, money has eternal value when we use it to bless others. Money has eternal value when we use it to bless others. Otherwise, it is like fool's gold. You know, there's that story of fool's gold. Someone gives, in olden days, people love gold coins. Someone gives 1,000 gold coins. You can see, take it as someone give you 10 lakh in your account, but with one condition. You have to use it by the end of the day, because at the end of the day, the 10 lakh will disappear. The 10 lakh will become nothing. It's called fool's gold, and this is fool's money. 10 lakh. Okay, so what will you do? You'll buy something, right? You'll buy something which is valuable for 10 lakh rather than keep the 10 lakh because it's going to disappear. You'll change that money into goods, into something that you can hold, right? But now, actually, the way God has made it is that all money is fool's money, because the St. Paul again says, we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can take nothing out. It is certain. We can have nothing. Nothing that we have here we can take to heaven. We cannot take the gold, we cannot take the money, we cannot take a house and say, Lord, I had this house on earth. So blessings God gave you, He'll ask, what did you do with it? Whom did you show? Did you welcome even one orphan, one stranger, one widow, one immigrant, one foreigner, one traveling person, one person of the so-called lower caste, of a different race, a different religion, a different culture? Did you show any love to anyone? That's what God wants. This is how your final evaluation, my final evaluation will go. This is the most important thing in the world. This is what God sees more than anything else. This is what we have to do. We have to do to change India, to change the world. This is the solution. You have to welcome others. God gives you a blessing, be a blessing to others. Take others out in the house, welcome others into the home God gave you. Take others out in the bike or the car that God gave you. Show love to everyone. Love will change the world. It's not harshness, it's not bitterness, it's not fighting, it's not politics, it's not anything else that can change the world. It's not even economics. But that is good. All that has its place. It's compassion, it's charity that will change the world. It's love. Love for our neighbor, love that welcomes everyone, that does not discriminate. It's that beautiful verse from the Bible: love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, it does not boast, it is not rude, it is not proud, it bears all, it believes all, it hopes all. Love never fails and it endures forever. Even faith will pass away one day, St. Paul says, but love endures forever. The most beautiful passages in the whole Bible, if you ask me. And so many people know it because it is so beautiful, such a beautiful description of love. If we all really practice that love, society would improve in no time. So that is the solution. We all know there are problems. This is the solution. Practice love, spread cheer, and do good things. You know, God has made it like that. When you spread love and when you spread cheer to a poor suffering brother on the street, when you see his wide smile or her wide smile, your own lips will broaden into a wide smile yourself, and you'll feel so much happiness and compassion and, and joy in your own heart. It is God's reward for the compassionate and the generous. That's how God has made it. That's how God has created us. And that is to encourage us, to incentivize us. When we do good to others, we will have a great reward from our God in heaven. That's why He says, the Father who sees the works you do in secret will reward you openly. One day you will be rewarded. All the good works that you have done will be told. And be told to all in the presence of the saints and angels. God will tell it to all. Do good, love others, don't divide society. No Christian, Hindu, Muslim, no Brahmin, Shudra, no so called this caste, that caste, nothing. Don't divide people. Divide people based on ethnicity, language, culture, race. We have to completely extirpate racism from our country. Racism and casteism. We Indians discriminate against the so called lower caste, so called lower races. We don't want to admit it to others and to foreigners and even to ourselves, but we do. We have to change these things. We have to become more compassionate, more generous, right? So, dear friends, I tell you again, enjoy life, do well, but help others also, right? That's what I love to say, and that's what I think we really need to do. Plan your life well, enjoy your life well, do it, fulfill all your obligations to family, to friends, and to others, to the poor, to those who really need you, and do well in life, dear friends. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to say. It's around 11:30 today. I'm going to bed. Wish you all the best. Namaskar, dostam. God bless you all. God bless India. God bless us all.